that whole notion of strain. And it's not always, it doesn't always, because it's been reformulated so many times, you're not going to try to explain why people do what they do. So what the theory is saying that people wouldn't never, normally commit crime, right? But for circumstances, situations that arise in their lives that would propel them towards criminal behavior. Okay. Theory tells us that people are, for the most part, they're law-abiding good people, right? But things happen. Things happen. Crime that occurs, right? I always say that the first law is going to be law of self-preservation, right? We have just an inherent need to survive, right? So if I'm hungry, I'm going to eat, even if that means that I have to sleep, all right? That's essentially what it boils down to. And so that's kind of what the theory, what they're kind of postulating there is saying that, people are law-abiding citizens, but if something happens, some negative result, then it propels them towards criminal behavior. This guy Burton, he looked at it through the whole notion of what we call the American dream, right? And so, what is the American dream? We're just talking about that, we're talking about that overarching conventional value and belief system that we have in this country, right? Now, I don't like the way the author book, where they put this, saying that we put financial and monetary success above proper ways to achieve success. That's not necessarily it, right? We're not going to ignore the fact that it is monetary success, material success, that oftentimes is a driver in American society, but that doesn't mean that we put it above conventional ways to achieve success, or proper. Because again, if we hold with the theoretical construction, we already talked about different subcultures. They do what? They define things differently. So when you say proper, what does proper mean? What does proper mean? Right? So, it's kind of, in my opinion, if I was author, it's kind of lazy just to say proper, because there is no hard and fast definition in American society of what is proper if you can't agree on what is deviant and what is not. That's just me. All right, so aspects of the American culture. What we are socialized to want. What is the American dream? Somebody articulate to me the American dream. What's the American dream? That's it. Basically, white picket fence, leave it to Beaver. That's what even today, even though society has kind of morphed so much since those days, that's what we believe the American dream to be. Right? We say things like work hard, play fair, this, that, the other. That's what they say you growing up, right? Study hard, right? Do all this, that, the other. It's funny now because you have I don't want to call it anti-intellectualism, but you will see that the number of people actually going to college now is starting to drop, right? Because no longer is that seen as necessary to be successful in society. And so it's interesting that you see the kind of change, subcultural changes going on. So what are we socialized to want, but also the rules we're expected to follow, right? The rules we are expected to follow. We're talking about the American dream, but they also, theorists will say, also within that, is that being successful is important no matter what the means of achieving it are, right? Just be successful. Just be successful. Yeah, I don't know. That's a hard concept. But as they say, the expense of having people follow the rules. But again, what are the rules? Bless you. What are the rules? Right? What are the rules? How many of you follow the rules at all costs, even if there's a shortcut? No. I mean, but that's Isn't that a part of it though? Like, I'm gonna be successful, but if something gets in my way, I'm gonna find a way around it. Isn't that a part of it? One of the mantras of the United States Marines, adapt and overcome. So what is the rule? What is it? I don't. This is a hard one for me, right? Because, particularly now in the past 5 to 10 years, because your generation, y'all have upset the American dream paradigm, because y'all have found a way to make large amounts of money in non-conventional ways, right? And old people like me, we hate that. We didn't think of it first. Y'all have more money than us. That's not right. Well, I'm just saying, this is an amazing thing. When, and that's across the board. That's with everything. I was looking at, if you watch basketball, of course we're in the midst of the NCAA tournament. I was looking at one of my favorite players. I love his game, Flag. Plays for Duke. I love watching him play ball. They were talking about his NIL, his name, image, and likeness valuation right now. It's $4.8 million. That's all he makes on NIL, just off his valuation. And his valuation was based largely in part to his social media engagement, right? It's crazy. That's not even talking about like just endorsements. That's just the social media engagement, like 4.8 million. Look at who's the kid, Arch Manning down at University of Texas, plays quarterback. Has not started a game yet. Has not started a game. Redshirted his first season. It was like he played the second season. He'll be a junior this year, or a redshirt junior. He doesn't have to go pro. Off of all the money he just made off of NIL. Deion Sanders' son, Shadur Sanders, who played quarterback for Colorado, he gifted the offensive line cars. How's a college student buying cars for the entire offensive line? That's how much money he has. He drives around campus in a Maybach. What? Carson Beck, former quarterback at the University of Georgia, he's now in Miami, has a Lamborghini. What? What? My car in college was 1990 Buick Regal. The velvet interior. I love it. Oh, man. That's crazy. That's crazy. So when you talk about the rules, whatever. You gotta rewrite this. Anyway. But we get to the theory of American social structure. So, this is where the theory gets applied. Right? So it says, because of our social economics, in some instances, however, it's impossible for some people to be successful according to the American standards. According to the American standards. Now, that doesn't mean they can't be successful in what they do or whatever, but according to the standards that are set by the American dream, it's impossible for some people. Some people will never get there. This is just what the theory says. And a lot of that has to do in large part with the natural inequalities that are built into our system, right? Which is natural inequalities. And unless you're able to overcome those inequalities, it's not. And you look at it. You look at it from a historical perspective, as always. It makes sense that it would be that way, right? Even though some of the grand statements espoused by the Constitution, who were able to participate in the formation of government in this country? It was landowners. You had to own land. So already you're talking about people who had wealth, right? You never said, oh, everybody has equal say so. No, even today we don't do that, right? Everybody didn't have equal say so, right? Because as we say, we make statements such as you gotta have skin in the game. It's gotta have some impact, some effect on you, right? Why is it that larger states with more population, well, we try to balance it out. But I'm just saying, you know. And that's why we do it, actually, in terms of your representation in the United States government, right? That's why the state is 2 senators, and it's not based on population like the House of Representatives. Because all the senators are being the most highly populated states, and they would have more say so. I'm like, wait a minute, that ain't fair.
Rhode Island must be heard. You know, Vermont has something to say about this. Connecticut has a voice to it, right? So that's why. But then there's natural inequality built into. Okay, so when most people, when they face with an obstacle, this enemy.
Made it out. I'm in class. I'm in class, chat. Shit. Crazy. I'm in the bathroom. I had to blow my nose. I'm here. What's up, dude? How you doing, bro? Currently in the bathroom blowing my nose because allergies. I'm in criminology class right now. That's what I'm going back to, so. I'm putting some tissue in my pocket just in case my nose starts running in class again. But yeah, we're just going back to class. Should be done in about noon. Streaming it for you guys, fuck it. I just saw somebody I knew. How am I doing? I'm doing great. Alright, it's time to go back into class. You guys are gonna go into my pocket for just 1 second, so give me like 10 seconds.
Drive around the country in vain. I just do it, but it's perfectly fine. Some people like to do I have a friend, but he just, at one point he was employed by Amazon. He was in Seattle, then he moved back to DC. Still did some contract work for Amazon, and was doing he had some high level position. And just recently, just like happened like last month, he said, you know what, I'm done. And next thing I know, he's posting on Facebook, he's in Indonesia, just live life. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't think I can do that. I'm just not going to drop everything and just start traveling. That's stressful. Maybe that's my problem. That's stressful. I don't like airports. And I don't like flying. So I can't do a whole lot of traveling because the first time my flight gets delayed, I'm freaking out. Man. It's stupid. What are we doing? What are we doing? Why is my flight canceled? There's flight in thunder. Fly around. I got somewhere to be. I like my stuff structured anyway. But you know, he's in Indonesia right now. Yes, sir.
Have you ever missed a flight?
I did one time, freaked out. Destroyed my whole day.
Did I show you that last semester, what happened to me? I got stuck in Germany.
Yeah, well,
Missed my flight.
stuck in Germany, mister.
I got taken by the German police. It was crazy. Yeah.
I missed a flight one time because I stopped by my office on the way to the airport to grab something, and right when I got through, I underestimated my time. When I got there, they were closing the gate. Like, I don't think I let anybody else on. I had to wait. My flight was like at 9 o'clock in the morning. I had to wait till like 10 o'clock that night to fly out. I was so, I hated it. And then, there was a storm. I had to fly to Charleston, and there was a storm going to Charleston. And that's the first time I ever experienced serious turbulence. So we're flying, and also that plane had to drop like 20. The lady in front of me just screamed. the lady next to me started praying. I was like, I miss my flight on the dot. This is crazy. Oh, that's crazy. Then I thought we just leveled off and I went to sleep. But it's what it is. I apologize. That's what you get doing this fight. And you know what I'm even paranoid about, you know, when they offer you a seat to take a later flight and they'll give you like vouchers. I'm paranoid about that. Because I don't trust them. I'm like, yeah, I need to see it on my phone first. They'll give me vouchers. And how do I use these things? But anyway. All right, so we're still talking about strain. Past the 30s, you know, everybody started feeling better about themselves. So it kind of fell off a little bit. But it was for political reasons, not so much that it didn't make sense. It's just that they were like, yeah, there's other reasons. Other things we can lean on. So here we go again. I'll throw subcultures back into the mix, right? So the good thing about strain is that they actually had some empirical support with it, but it wasn't as much as critics would have liked to have seen, right? But that's a drawback to all of the theories, as was stated at the beginning of the semester. Like, you're not going to find a whole lot of data to support it because it is what? It is subjective, right? When you talk about self-reporting surveys and things of that nature, they're not going to be of much use other than anecdotal information and things that matter. So, I mean, it's what it is. Still makes sense though. So here we go. We had strain theory, right? Guess what? Here goes that general strain theory. Here we go. Just took an Xbox and put a clock on it. That's all it is. All right. So in the 80s and 90s, they said, hey, you know what, strain? It makes sense. Let's bring it back. Let's talk about. So they came up with the general strain theory. And what they did, they took the original theory and they just sat there and added some more ways that we cope. Like, we cope in some other ways, right? You know, instead of just talking about one coping mechanism, they talk about three, right? And also, they don't believe that it's going to be one single event or causal strain that's really going to be the problem. Rather, the events start to stack on each other, right? Like, say for instance, okay, all right, so you can say somebody, let's just call him Carl. All right, Carl is a happy-go-lucky individual working towards the American dream. Everything's going well. Carl loses his job. Carl loses his job, whatever, having a hard time finding a job, so now Carl is trying to live life. But guess what? Oh, find out what? Carl has a doctor's appointment. Carl is now sick. Carl lost his job, but Carl didn't have health insurance. Carl needs surgery, right? Carl can pay for it. If he doesn't have surgery, Carl may probably not gonna make it. Life events start to stack on themselves. And we see that particularly now. We've seen it since about 2007, 2008. We start to see the culmination of life events start to, so a lot of people, when you see them who are in like jail, prison, this, that, and the other, when they talk about their life, it's not just one thing that happened, right? It's not just like one thing, like, oh, okay, everything was fine, everything was great, then guess what, my parents were taken away from me out of whatever we had. Okay, that happened, now I'm in foster care, okay? I'm in foster care, something heinous happened to me in foster care, so now you got that, right? Now I'm released, I age out of foster care, I don't have any skills, this, that, and the other, because I had all these other things happen to me. So yeah, so there's all this other stuff that starts to do, all right? All this other stuff starts to happen, and you have to take that into account, all right? I mentioned in my prior class, have y'all been following like the Jared's Subway controversy? Jared's the next guy. Sandwich guy, you know the guy, Jared, who most lost all that weight by eating sandwiches? Yeah, Jared's a pedophile. Don't put that out there. Let's move on. One of the things that happen at 12:30 at night that I watch. Problematic. All right, so 3 types of strain. All right, strain to achieve something that's positively valued. That could be a goal of anything. That could be a goal of anything. Something that is valued positively is removed from your life. Or you have what we call noxious stimuli. That could be anything external that causes you to do bad things, right? So those are 3 types that we're talking about. And so anytime this happens, but again, that doesn't mean that automatically, good movie, right? Right. It was all good. Right? Not Pony Boy, Johnny, when Johnny died. And that pushed him over the edge, right? That pushed him over the edge. And Pony Boy went and told, so he had Dally and he had Derry. It was So he went back and he said, hey, Galley's lost it, we gotta go find it. And Galley had a gun, and went to the convenience store, did some dumb stuff, pointed it at the guy, and next thing he was shooting at cops, all kinds of stuff, right? And then a lot of times, that's how it happens. I was going to lunch with some detectives years ago, and we're driving somewhere south, going to the restaurant, and we see cars slowing down, some of them trying to